Now imagine you're me. Doppelganger horror. One of the oldest forms of scary stories, from Native American skinwalkers to Minecraft Herobrine. The idea of you or someone you know being replaced with an exact replica, but something's just a little off. It's one of the most disturbing concepts I could think of experiencing. So naturally this idea would get run so far into the ground that it's now broken through bedrock. As it is with the subject of today's discussion, Basswood County, by the creator Darkmind, the series follows a collection of VHS tapes documenting the invasion of Basswood County by creatures known as humanoids. It's unknown where they come from, and it seems as though everyone who dares to look deeper suffers a terrible fate. Wait, we aren't clips from the actual series playing? Okay, so it's a series that clearly takes a little inspiration from the likes of Mandela Catalog.
When you are not running, I'm only getting closer.
Okay, maybe quite a bit. That is actually just like a wrinkly avocado version of the intruder from Mandela Catalog. Okay, it takes a lot of inspiration from Mandela Catalog, but is that so bad? Yes! Oh, well, your response has been noted. So yeah, despite how many people have covered this series, calling it the scariest thing since my Aunt Karen had an aneurysm in the deli aisle, I walked away with a slightly different impression, and with a little more concern for Aunt Karen. Has anyone checked on her? It still has its moments, don't get me wrong, but I think it's important to be honest and fair with my feelings about this series, because the main thing that eats at my ass is that I really think the creator, Darkmind, has a lot of potential, and I could see him becoming one of the greats, up on the analog horror Mount Rushmore with Scary David, the Oiled One, and Mona Linnaeus. By the way, side tangent, did you guys know there's a rule on the analog horror subreddit banning discourse about urban spooks specifically? That shit actually made me giggle for a couple minutes. Also, thank you all so much for 7,000 subscribers. A month ago, I was absolutely having an aneurysm in the deli aisle over the channel hitting 100 subscribers, but now it's growing faster than I ever expected, and it means the world that you guys like hearing my deep analysis intercut with stupid fart jokes. Alright, with the preamble out of the way, let's get into Basswood County. Episode 1. Oh, f*** my ears. God damn, it's been a while since I've seen an analog horror. It just went classic emergency alert. I'm sure a lot of them do it. It's just like, oh my god, and the auto-generated analog horror voice? That's crazy. An emergency alert is issued at 2:26 a.m. for Basswood County and neighboring counties. A species of humanoid creatures has supposedly invaded the county and are suspected to be responsible for 11 brutal murders, with the victims found in various states of dismemberment. We then received advice on how to best protect ourselves from this threat, and a description of how they appear: elongated limbs, necks, fingers, and unnatural faces. Kinda just sounds like XQC. We are then shown 5 police sketches of these creatures, which seem to gradually stray further and further from looking human. Police sketches always creep me the fuck out. Like, something about just like having to draw someone from a verbal description just always makes it so fucking cursed. Oh, this guy, look, he's so happy. Would this guy do you any harm? No. Yeah, yeah, he's a little sleepy. He's harmless. Well, that was just a man. We then switch over to found footage. Our cameraman films a poster asking, "Have you seen this man?" They then switch focus to a sewer grate, a deep rumbling coming from within. What the? Oh. Let out a wicked fart. Oh, okay. That's unsettling. I don't like that. What's so funny over there? Found a cool monkey video? I want to see. October 7th, 1998. Whoo! That got me a little. My arm. I fucking needed that. Who's filming this? Is the creature just filming the arm? Just like, my greatest work yet. And finally, We close out on footage of someone hiding in their closet from the invader, but it's too late. Footage 3. Come on, man. Control your breathing. You got this. Okay, I was gonna say that you could probably kick these things' ass, but considering they can, like, rip your limbs off with their bare hands, I'm just gonna keep that one to myself. Hello? Ah, this guy looks fine. Oh. Okay. Alright. I'm just gonna say what everyone is thinking. This is just a ripoff of Piglet's Big Adventure. No, but for real, this episode follows the first volume of Mandela Catalog practically beat for beat, opening with an emergency alert, describing a humanoid creature that is invading the county, and found footage of a person dealing with said creature. However, it doesn't feel like Mandela Catalog, if that makes any sense. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I think something about the presentation, particularly the drawings, make the threat feel different than the alternates from MC. I can't really explain it, but it's been something I've felt since I started seeing thumbnails of this series. It's just hard to put it into exact words, so comment below if you're smelling what I'm shitting. Episode 2. During the investigation of one of the victims' houses, Detective Jeff Alberson recovered several pieces of evidence from the homeowner. A sketchbook was found, the pages filled with uncanny drawings of human faces. But more importantly, they recovered several VHS tapes containing recordings of the victim's room before their house was broken into by the anomaly. Is there a guy there? Yeesh. The lighting of these the drawings is like really eerie. It's just their faces that get me. And some of them it really just doesn't read as creepy. It reads as like the smile you give a cashier. Episode 3.
Nobleman, and now it is time for you to change back and return to your provincial university. And if I...
Viewing of this tape is prohibited by law. We open with a test where you cycle through several mugshots and have to determine whether the subject is normal or not normal. Much like Maple County, and the Longhead Project, and the Salt Bulb Test, and That's Not My Neighbor, and... Alright, I'm done. Shit, bro, if my hairline looked like that, I'd be upset too. This is actually XQC, what the fuck? I made the joke earlier, and then he actually showed up. What the fuck? We then cut to a clip that's a little strange. The failure of Jeff Alberson. We open with a drawing of Jeff with a wide-brim hat we will become very familiar with. Strewn about his table are various flyers, drawings, and missing persons posters. But then... Oh! I will say the way it's differentiating itself from Mandela Catalog for right now is all of the footage that's being used is like it's very POV. Like I feel like a lot of Mandela Catalog before volume 3 was very indirect. Like you were never seeing the world through a character's eyes. This is very like classic like found footage horror, which for right now I think it is really cool. Our cameraman tries to escape the house but is chased down by a humanoid. They seemingly make it home, but the creature followed them back. That's really creepy. If it moves. So from the last 2 episodes, we meet one of our main characters, Jeff Alberman, and we're told about some kind of chamber in the woods. It seems like he was looking into the humanoid anomaly but got too close to the sun and became a humanoid himself. Or perhaps he always was one. Sorry, I'm really not trying to draw more parallels to Mandela Catalog. Anyways, what we can tell from this is that local law enforcement were at one point seriously pursuing these entities but seem to have since backed off. Evident by Jeff's research just being left to collect dust, and they now take a more passive approach by arming citizens with knowledge, but ultimately leaving them to defend for themselves. It's pretty gnarly. Episode 4.
How can you live a peaceful life?
Try and figure that out myself, son.
Do not care about people's opinions.
Oh, I understand now.
Get
Feel
out.
very at peace.
Sit in a park, around the trees.
I'm feeling very peaceful right now.
Where you can watch the sea.
So serene.
Feel
Truly,
the breeze
just never
in your skin.
Never been so at peace.
And remember, when you are not running, I'm only getting closer.
Episode 5. Here, we're told about Calvin Basswood, the founder of Basswood County. Donning a familiar, wide-brimmed hat, he wrote in his diary about a building he found in the woods that looked like something from the future. He saw humans inside, but something was off about them. He discovered what we now know to be the humanoids, and this was their home. He would dub this building the Chamber. We then see a missing poster for Andy Steffens, who seems to have become the main humanoid that has been stalking us through this series. Andy Steffens after the transformation. Andy Steffens? Shit, am I supposed to know who that is? Oh, it's right. Damn, the cut goes crazy. Mance has been living off of pure keto and fucking chlorophyll injections. God damn. Alright, bro, time to bulk. We're then told about a group of investigators looking into the disappearances in Basswood, dubbed the Philadelphia Group. They seem to come across the chamber, and they go inside and document their findings. Oh shit, this is the chamber. They're gonna go in? Yeah, dude. Get in there. Disregard every single human instinct that has led your family line to evolve over millions and millions of years to this point. Ignore every single instinct and go into this very safe-looking building. They entered the chamber. There's Andy again. Love to see him. They find several corpses, including a woman with several cracks and holes in her body, and her skin melted like wax. Above one of the corpses appears to be some sort of square portal, leading to nothing but darkness. They make their way out of the chamber, but whatever was in there follows them out. Roots coming from his back. This is the future that vegans want. The group got out of the... Oh, fuck. I was too focused on my joke to actually read that. Honestly, very impressive that they were able to map out the chamber with all that poop in their pants. I would not have the right state of mind to be able to diagram out all this. Like, monsters aside, abandoned buildings just freak me out. Oh. That actually looks like the Orphan of Kos. Oh. That's a good painting. That was spooky. Only 2 of the 7 survived. The footage then cuts to an informational video explaining the anatomy of the humanoids.
What is a human?
I'd love to know.
Hello, I am Doctor. In this tape I will teach you about the human anatomy. I will show you how they will control your body. Here is the human head, where consciousness exists. Here are the nerves. That's how the head looks after the creatures use it.
What do they use it for?
These are the small nerves.
Brother, are you gonna tell me? Are you gonna explain things, or are you just gonna point?
The core. They create it so they can control your body.
You're not explaining much. You're just pointing and saying shit.
We're then shown the life cycle of the humanoid, going from grotesque monster to uncannily human.
Yeah, this is the bulk that I was talking about. Yeah, this is peak performance. Is that an actual typo? I was chalking the typos up to just English not being this guy's first language based on the accent, which is I have absolutely no problem with. Like, you want to make an analog horror series, then you want to make it in English to reach the widest audience possible, but you mess up a couple words. I think that's totally fine. But like this, it's straight up typo. I know this is the kind of fucking thing where he, as soon as he hit post and I watched back over, it's just like, you know, admire his handiwork, sees that at the end, he's fucking like, no, what have I done? Because I've done that shit too. Alright, this one had some meat on its bones, and trust me, bro, I'm sucking that bone dry. I feel like the lore dump really helped distinguish itself from its antecedents. Having such well-documented knowledge of these creatures, from their history to their anatomy to even where they dwell, really gives it more of an SCP vibe. and I mean that as a compliment. Obviously, I think things are usually scarier when they're left vague and up to interpretation, but I think this leaves just enough space in between the lines to make it so the knowledge we do have just adds to the terror. Because we have so much knowledge on how these creatures work, yet we still don't really know anything about them. It's like we put a puzzle together, but none of the pieces form a complete picture. Whether that's intentional or not, yeah, who's to say?
Episode 6. A report is put out for a suspected killer in Basswood County.
That is actually just like a wrinkly avocado version of the intruder from Mandela Catalog. Like, it's either that or just Billy Mitchell after he falls on some hard times.
We are then shown footage of the killer's previous hunt. Our cameraman runs through the woods, and then...
Come on. Keep running. Oh. God. These, like, abandoned shitholes that this guy finds himself in. Hey, hello. This is actually like that one meme from Baki the Grappler. Hold on, I need to find... Yeah! He's actually just this. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know what the hell this episode has to do with anything. Clearly this is someone being chased by a humanoid, but this one has such a unique design and an episode dedicated all itself. It's clearly meant to be important, yet as of now, that hasn't really gone anywhere. Hell, maybe this really is just an in-universe Billy Mitchell. You guys know Billy Mitchell? Self-proclaimed video game player of the century, allegedly, who faked all his biggest achievements, allegedly, in response to any and all criticism with a lawsuit, allegedly. So maybe this really is just an in-universe Billy Mitchell, where instead of sending you poorly written lawsuits for making fun of his mullet, he chases you down on all fours and tears all your limbs off. Now that would be Gamer of the Century worthy.
Episode 7. I feel like my soul is being dragged into that place. A parasite taking over my mind. I can't sleep anymore. I'm going insane. We're presented with an information tape on steps to take to give us a healthy sleep and make spiritual distance between us and some unknown anomaly.
This is actually just my internal monologue every night I go to sleep. Whew. I am still awake. Unfortunately. Yeesh.
The tape then gives very specific directions on when and how to sleep to best avoid the wander effect. More on this later.
How'd you get in here? This is my private domicile and I will not be harassed. Bitch.
We then see the outcome of this wanderer effect. It seems the humanoid parasite has entered our character's mind and turned them into this giant anomaly.
So here we find out that the humanoids seem to have infiltrated the government of Basswood and are now attempting to lure the public into sleeping in a particular way that will best facilitate their invasion. And this really is the worst case scenario, because getting a healthy sleep is how these things take over, then Jesus Christ, that means the only people that'll be left alive are gamers? We'll truly be living in a society then, I'll tell you what. Moving on to the next episode, we have a drawing tutorial? Hold on, I kind of want to see this. You know what? Let me follow along. You know what? We're gonna have fun here. You know what? That's really fun. I really like that he made the little drawing tutorial. That's actually so fucking cute. I feel connected to him now. We're brothers now, only closer. Wait, there was actual lore here.
Episode 8.
Alright. So this is the Forgotten Humanoid. I need to see that man again. Yeesh. That's, Jeff Alberman, was it? Wait, hold on. I was about to make a joke, but I may have just made a legitimate connection. I was gonna say that he looks like the Hat Man, but with how much the past few episodes have been very dream-oriented, and with the last drawing episode where he drew, assumedly what would be something in his nightmares, but then it came to reality, are these humanoids actually coming from dreams? That is very interesting. So what I think might be happening here is, since the parasites invade your brain while you're in REM sleep, They maybe take influence from the dreams and nightmares of people whose bodies they steal, hence why they come out looking so uncanny. And I think this plays further into the appearance of the transformed Jeff Alberman, being a reference to the popular sleep paralysis demon, the Hat Man, and we'll see that much more clearly later in the episode.
We hear what seems to be an interview of someone describing what seems to be Andy Steffen turning into a humanoid.
Ah, my eyes.
He seemed off. He was normal the day before, and suddenly he was different.
Man, Andy got on
His
gear.
face was odd, like a thing pretending to show emotions, but failed. His neck grew longer. His body was slender.
It's the cut. Come
walking
on.
unsteadily, like he
It's the
doesn't
cycle,
have
man.
ribs.
Cut bulk.
And then there were things like roots came out of his back. The people noticed him, and they stayed away from who they once knew. People began to disappear, day by day.
It must be related to the guy with fucking roots coming out of his back. I'm sure of
They
it.
searched for him.
Following that, we see drawings of what appears to be the remains of this humanoid. It's unclear how it died, but it almost seems like its corpse is taking root in the ground, perhaps another stage of the life cycle. The video then cuts to the POV of someone scoping around their house for humanoids, but not noticing that one is already inside.
Okay, door looks closed. I feel very safe. Wait, no, that door's cracked open. He could be in. He could be anywhere right now.
We then see the rest of the footage from the Philadelphia group, and what led to their demise.
You know what, frankly, if I was like an 1868 Victorian Quaker Oats man and stumbled into this building, I would probably be very perturbed. I don't know if I would stop believing in God or believe in him more.
They enter the chamber and find strange drawings strewn about the floor, showing the portal which the beings come to Earth from. The creatures turn into 3 types of humanoids, the core being the part with which they control their human hosts from.
An unsettling illustration of a humanoid, possibly called Face of the Void. What do you mean possibly called? Who's calling it that? Who? Tell me.
In the next piece of footage, the group walks through the woods and then...
Ooh.
The cameraman presses onward, finding a drawing in a bush.
Who is leaving these drawings? That's my question. Is this actually the Painter Cinematic Universe? Mona Lanice is actually running around drawing the humanoids and jerking off to them. There is significance to everything being drawings, I feel like, but I'm just not able to put it together right now. Don't pick it up. Put that down. Put it down. Put it down! Please. I'm frightened. Yo, what's good, Jeff? Dap me up, my boy.
Hello?
I would not walk closer to a fucking ominous hat man standing under a streetlight. Yeah. This is the appropriate response.
The next piece of footage is a little more difficult to make sense of, but it seems as though our cameraman has been captured and is now being held captive in front of this humanoid that is just about to awaken. We're then treated to videos of Darkmind in a fedora making silly faces. Video depicting the transformation of Jeff Alberman. Yeah, that's what this is. And lastly, ending out with a drawing of the core and a portrait of a decayed Andy Steffens, the forgotten humanoid.
Okay, so that was Basswood County. There's positives, there's negatives, but boy, if there's one thing the series lacking, it's original ideas. Now keep in mind, I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. You can do an idea that's been done before and make it your own, and I think that is something that Darkmind has succeeded at. Like I said before, this series feels like its own thing, but I still don't think it was pushed far enough. To me, Darkmind is very clearly an artist who enjoys making these uncanny illustrations, and he's really good at it. Like, some of these really got me. Hell, he even shared some of his industry secrets, and now because of that, I'm bloodbound to him and wish him nothing but the best for him. But I just think that he could be so much more. If I were to give one piece of advice moving forward, it would be to really dig deep. Think about what really scares you, what genuinely frightens you in day-to-day life, and use that as the fuel for the fire you cook with. Also, watch more horror media outside of internet horror. I think getting a more well-rounded view of what the genre can offer will really get your creative juices stirring. But yeah, take my advice, or don't. What you're making is already a fantastic series, so I encourage everyone to check the newest episode out and show him some love because he really deserves it. As for me, I'll see you on Mount Rushmore.